Boom! Welcome back to the Sebs Show, ladies and gentlemen. It's your boy Sebs here. It's Friday morning, 9:45 Eastern Time. Putting this one out a little bit late. Should have had it out last night. For some reason, the last couple videos, my computer kept on crashing every time I get to the... It's like every time I get to this main card, the computer fucking crashes. It's ridiculous. But nevertheless, this is actually going to be UFC Fight Night 112, Oklahoma City. Chiesa vs. Lee. And I'm also going to have Bellator NYC on this as well. A little bit of Bellator bets I made as well. So I'm going to break down a little bit of Bellator, but mainly we're going to stay on this UFC. I really like this card from a betting perspective. I think it's a great card actually overall. You're going to be good from even the Fight Pass fights. Like, don't sleep on them. I think they're going to be pretty good. But nevertheless, we should get it started here at UFC Fight Night 112. And we're starting with actually my first play of the day, or my first play of the card. Joshua the Sandman Stansbury versus Jeremy Kimball. And I took Stansbury on a half a unit parlay with I think four other, it's like a 5-leg parlay. You guys know I like to do my 5-leggers, at least like half a unit or whatnot, just to see if we can hit something nice. But he is in that half unit parlay. Pretty confident in him. He was on Tough 23. He has some serious power in his hands. He's not the most technical striker, but man, does he have some fucking serious power. I think he beat, it was like in the quarterfinals, he beat that guy Abdel. I don't know his last name. He didn't make it to the UFC, that guy. But then he beat, and then he got knocked out by Khalil Roundtree. And then in the Tough 23 finale, he fought Corey Hendricks, grinded him out for 3 rounds, gave him a beating. Corey Hendricks was on the Tough 23 show as well from Syndicate MMA. Probably a 185er. I can see him at 185. He would do pretty well. So I'm not super high on him, but that was a good win nevertheless. And then he lost to Devon Clark, who's pretty much a middleweight as well. A little bit undersized light heavyweight, but a great wrestler nevertheless. But the fight actually took place mostly standing up on the feet. I guess Devon Clark wanted to show his strike ability. Kind of picked apart Joshua Stansbury in somewhat, because Stansbury was a little bit slower, but he definitely did land the harder shot, Stansbury, in that fight. In this fight, he's fighting a guy named Jeremy Kimball, who's another undersized light heavyweight. An undersized light heavyweight, or you can call him an overweight middleweight. Probably doesn't have the discipline to make 185. He's pretty stocky for this division. In his UFC debut, got knocked out by Rogerio de Lima. But before that, this guy has like 10 knockouts, 10 knockouts / TKOs on his record. He has some knockouts of some former UFC veterans. He's gonna be the faster fighter if this stays typically on the feet. Gonna be faster. I don't see him. He could hurt Stansbury too. Stansbury is a little bit chinny, but obviously so is Kimball. And I really don't see this playing out on the feet. If it does, might lean a little bit towards Jeremy Kimball, but we haven't seen much of him. I just know he's a pretty fast, smooth striker, especially at this light heavyweight division. He's going to be faster than most guys. He's a true middleweight. I think most of his knockouts, though, out of those 10 knockouts, have come at the middleweight division. So I'm going with my boy Stansbury here, and I'm going to tell you, I do think if it stays standing, he definitely has the chops enough to keep it standing and like hurt Kimball, possibly even knock him out. But I think he grinds this one out. I think he takes him down early and he beats the fuck out of Kimball. If not in the first round, if he doesn't end it in the first round, this is probably going all 3 rounds. I see a 30-27, maybe a 30-26 for Stansbury. Pretty high on him in this fight typically. Not very high on him in general, as would like to see some improvements from him. But I think this is a real good matchup for him. And I do have him in that half unit parlay with a bunch of stuff later in the card. But let's move on now to Tony Martin versus Gianni Hollywood Case. Tony Martin. Let's start with Tony Martin. Man, he's a fucking great grappler. Excellent submission game. 8 submissions. He tapped out Felipe Oliveri pretty recently, and then he won that decision over Alex White. He's a good wrestler too. Doesn't have the best takedown defense, but he's not afraid for it to hit the floor, which is something that's always good, right? Because he has a super active guard, and he's always threatening with guillotines if you try and take him down. And he is a pretty smooth striker when standing up. Not probably as smooth as Johnny Case. I'm not sure. That one's a little bit hard to know. I think he's the better grappler out of the two. Johnny Case is a very good grappler as well. He has slick jiu-jitsu. He's got a great guillotine. I forgot who it was. Former UFC vet, Japanese guy. Top of the head, can't remember him, but he guillotined him. Nasty guillotine. And then he put, he's a real good striker. He put a fucking beating on Frankie Perez. Frankie Perez isn't the greatest, but he still put a nice beating on Frankie Perez. And then he was on a serious win streak, Johnny Case, until Jake Matthews tapped him out with like 15 seconds left in the round or something like that. Or 15 seconds left in the fight. So, before the line came out and before pre-tape, I was on Tony Martin super high, because I thought he was just I took him over Alex White. I thought he was going to get the finish, but I did see how good of a grappler this guy is. And then I saw Johnny Case, some tape study on him. But I'm still leaning with Tony Martin. I think he's the better grappler out of the two. It's going to be hard to submit Johnny Case. But if someone's going to do it, I'm not saying like Tony Martin's a Damian Meyer or whatnot, but he is a great submission specialist. And he has pretty slick jiu-jitsu as well. I know Johnny Case is slick and Tony Martin's more of a technical grappler. But he's got some pretty slick jiu-jitsu as well, so don't be surprised if he catches him in something crazy. I do like Tony Martin. I favor his chances. Probably second round submission in this one, guys. I do like Tony Martin. But no play as of yet. Probably not going to be a play on the card. Not super confident in it, but definitely going with Tony Martin. I think he's a better grappler of the two, and I think that's primarily where this fight's going to take place. Next up, we got Jared Flash Gordon versus Michael El Capo Quinones. Let's start with Gordon here. He was found on Dana White looking for a fight. This fight was actually supposed to happen at UFC 211 in Dallas. And don't remember who. I'm pretty sure it was Jared Gordon. Got injured or something. Something happened to Jared Gordon, but I'm pretty sure he was the one who pulled out. Nevertheless, he's a good aggressive fighter. He pushes the pace. He's a good boxer in the pocket. I like how he mixes up his punches to the body, to the head, back to the body. He's got a good stand-up, and he's a good grappler. He's got 5 knockouts on his record, / TKOs, and 2 submissions. He trains with some fucking killers at Renzo Gracie's with the Danaher Death Squad, I'm pretty sure. So this guy's getting good luck tapping him out. I'm not saying he's probably not going for too many submissions. He's not that type of fighter, but I guarantee you his submission defense is on another level. I'm pretty sure before he got signed, he was the CFFC featherweight champion. He's a good wrestler. Not outstanding, but he's good in his previous fights. But Quinones, let's jump in real quick. He's coming off 3 straight knockouts in the first round. He's an aggressive striker with some serious pop in his hands, and pretty much everything he throws. And just like Gordon, he constantly pushes forward, but when he pushes forward, he's throwing a lot of combinations, lots of. It's usually like a 2 and then a hook, and so he'll throw like a straight cross, and then he'll throw like a left hook, or he likes to open up sometimes with a jab and then a hook. Throws a couple wild punches while he's blitzing forward. that leaves him open for counters a lot of the times. And even though his takedown defense is pretty decent, Jared Gordon, at those times when he's blitzing in, could catch him and put him to sleep or take him down. Whole reason I'm siding with Jared Gordon on here, I think he's the better grappler, so he could take this down and pretty much grind this out for 3 rounds, which I think is going to happen, and I think it's going to be a 30-27. But he could also clip Quinones and put him to sleep when Quinones is doing those blitzes forward. So I am siding with Jared Gordon here. I do see the play on Quinones as well, though. A serious pocket in his hands, he can knock out Jared Gordon. But this is stay away from me, guys. As I was same with the last fight, but probably even more this one. Wouldn't blame me for taking either side. I'm siding with Jared Gordon. Let's now move on to the prelims on the Fight Network here. Fight Network here in Canada. I'm not sure where they're probably FS1 for or FX for Americans. But we're starting with Dell, Horcher, and Devon Powell. I'm pretty sure I got a total of... Let's do this quick. I know I have a 1.5 unit parlay with Horcher and 2 other props in the card. But I'm pretty sure I have... yes, I do. So I have Horcher for 2.25 units in total. Pretty high on Horcher, especially this fight. Devon Powell, I don't think is UFC caliber as of yet. Would like to see him on the regional circuit a little bit longer. Nevertheless, he's a tough motherfucker. If you saw, he was found on Dana White looking for a fight as well, and in that fight, he got a broken nose, and he ended up finishing the guy. So he's a tough motherfucker, this guy. And trust me, it is very... Just getting clipped in the nose and, like, while you're fighting, it makes your sinuses clear up... Not clear up, it's like flame up real fast, and you start tearing, and it's like it's hard to see. It's a bitch when you get punched in the nose, and then a broken nose is even worse because you can't fucking breathe. I'm saying fucking a lot, I'm sorry guys, but you can't breathe through your broken nose. So you're breathing through your mouth, so you're gonna gas way easier, and it's even harder for you to see because like the same thing's happening. Your sinuses are flaring up or whatnot. So I do give a lot of props to Devon Powell for finishing the guy in the fight and finishing the fight with a broken nose, which probably ultimately got him signed to the UFC. And other than that, he's not very good at anything specific. He's an alright kickboxer. I think he might be a 145er. He's pretty tall and lanky for the division. He's not very strong for the division. Like very it's pretty easy to take him down. It looks like. Against Drakkar Klose, and Drakkar Klose was putting a clinic on him, and I'm not super high on Drakkar. You guys, well, I'll put my breakdown on him in about 2 weeks when he fights DKC. But I'm not sure if Powell's UFC caliber yet. Like I said, he's got alright kickboxing. He's tall and lanky for this division, so he's only gonna have a 1-inch reach advantage, and he has a 2-inch height advantage. Horcher's fought Khabib on 9 days notice, so that on its own is you're a fucking monster. If you're fighting Khabib on 9 days notice, you're a fucking animal. But you gotta do what you gotta do to make it to the UFC, and my man here took his shot real quick. He has good Muay Thai. He was looking good on the feet against Khabib too, for about 2 minutes, until Khabib took him down and does what Khabib does and finished him in like the 2nd or 3rd round. Nevertheless, he's got some pop in his hands. He beat fellow UFC fighter Alex Ritchie. He's got like 4 TKO/knockouts on his record. He was on a pretty serious win streak before he fought Khabib, and his only other loss other than Khabib is Felipe Nover. I think I'm not saying Daryl Horcher is one of the best lightweights in the world. It's more of a fade on Devon Powell. I'm not trying to be so harsh on Devon Powell, but I don't think he's UFC caliber yet. So I do have 2.25 units in total on Daryl Horcher, with a couple fights later in the card, a couple props later in the card. It's on 2 different tickets. So, but yeah, I'm going with Daryl Horcher here. We'll go with second round knockout. If it's on second round knockout, look for a 30-26 decision for Daryl Horcher. Yep. So siding with Daryl Horcher here. I think Devon Powell, if he does get cut, would do some work on the regional scene, maybe come back a better fighter. That's what I would have liked to see from him. But I'm looking forward to see what Daryl Horcher has. Hopefully, because we didn't get to see much in that Khabib fight, so I do want to see how good his Muay Thai is, because we did see it for a couple minutes. So I want to see if he can pick apart Devon Powell, and let's see how good his wrestling and everything is too. But nevertheless, let's go to our next fight. Carla Esparza versus Marina Moroz. Marina Moroz, fucking dime piece, hey guys? Gorgeous, gorgeous woman from the Ukraine. They make beautiful girls. And Carla Esparza here. So, yeah, I'm not going to say that you're gorgeous too, but hey, you're a fucking amazing wrestler, Carla Esparza. And she actually might be the best wrestler in the division. Her, maybe Gedalia, but I'll give it to Carla Esparza. She's a fucking amazing wrestler. Like, nevertheless, sorry for making fun of you about a minute ago, but great wrestler she is. Averages nearly 4.5 takedowns a fight, and her striking is coming along well too. She's got 4 submissions, 3 TKOs/knockouts. And she's coming off a split decision loss to Marcos, where a lot of people thought she won that fight. I wasn't too sure. It's hard. For me, it was a little bit hard to call that fight. Marina Moroz here. Slick on the floor, got 5 submissions. She's big for this division, guys. She's, I think she's like 5'7". Huge reach advantage on most people. Technical striker, coming off of that win of Danielle Taylor, where she used her reach advantage to pretty much pick Danielle apart for a few rounds, but Danielle looked to bully her inside the clinch, and she got a split decision, but I think she probably should have got a unanimous decision. She won 2 rounds, but if Danielle Taylor was bullying you inside the clinch, don't get me wrong, she's strong. What's Carla Esparza gonna do, right? She's gonna this might be a takedown war. So I'm not sure yet. I am siding with Carla Esparza, or I'm leaning with Carla Esparza a tiny little bit. But what I'm super high on here, guys, is the over rounds. I think Marina Moroz has the capability to keep the shorter. She has like a 6-inch reach advantage, or 6-inch height advantage. On Carla Esparza, a good reach advantage on her as well, so she should be able to keep her at bay for at least a round or 2 with the jab. I don't see her finishing Carla Esparza, and I don't see Carla Esparza finishing her. They both have good submission defense. I don't see either of them knocking each other out, and if this goes to Carla Esparza's side, this is a unanimous decision on her end as well. Both sides, I can see Moroz taking this unanimous decision, just pick her apart with the striking. I can see Esparza taking her down at will and beating her for 3 rounds with just those takedowns. But I am taking the over 2.5 rounds here. I do have, I think, a total of 3.5 units, or maybe, I think I have 4 units total, guys. I think I have this part of the, I have this part of the Stansbury, Kimball, the Stansbury Kimball fight, but I also have this paired with, Daryl Horcher, and I also have this paired with something else later in the card, but I am pretty high on the over rounds here, guys. I do think, there's not going to be a finish. Probably, I'm not going to say a snooze fest, but like I said, Look for Marina to do damage with her jab, if that's how it's going to play around. And then look for Carla Esparza to be getting those takedowns at will. I think this is going all 3 rounds. Yeah, just to double check, I got 3.25. Oh, okay. So I only got 3.25 units on this over here, guys. But still super high on it. You guys can also check me out at betmma.tips/sebshow, where I post all my stuff, and on Capitech as well, if you ever want to double check my bets. But yeah, leading with Carla Esparza here, but really eyeing the over rounds. Next up is my most confident pick of this whole card, guys. Marvin Vettori versus Vettori Miranda. Start with my boy Marvin Vettori. I got a total. Let's go quick. Let's see how much money we got on Vettori here. 6.75 units on Vettori. So I'm very confident on Vettori. I have him in a 4-unit parlay with somebody later in the card, and then I have I think I have him in a 2.75 unit parlay with somebody later in the card. So let's start off with Vettori. Very good wrestler. He's good in the clinch, good against the cage, great submission skills. When he gets taken down, he does have a real good get-up game, quick to get up. Once he's on top of you, he has a heavy top game. Like I said, he's a good wrestler. I think one of the biggest factors in this fight is that he's 23 years old, super young still, and Vettori Miranda's 38. That's a 15-year difference. Quick math for you guys. But yeah, I think that might be one of the biggest factors here. Vettori keeps very busy on the ground. He has super slick jiu-jitsu. He's very opportunistic on submissions. I'm pretty sure we saw that against a rear naked choke against Alberto Uda. He's got good striking, good boxing, quick hands, good takedown defense, and he's really well balanced when you're trying to take him down. We saw him that against a world-class grappler when he fought Antonio Carlos Jr. And Antonio Carlos Jr. had trouble taking him down at times, and he did win that second round against Antonio Carlos Jr. Looked to put a beating on him. He's good, real good at scrambling, and he likes to fight in the pocket, and he does some damage in the pocket. He's got some excellent ground and pound, throws some real nice short elbows from the ground, and he's got some good conditioning. And one of my favorite things here is he's training out of King's MMA with Rafael Cordero, the great Rafael Cordero. So you know his striking is just top level. The tutelage of Rafael Cordero is something else. Trained Dos Anjos, just a bunch of killers at fucking King's MMA. Off the top of my head, can't name a million. I know Calvin. I think Calvin's still there. Dos Anjos, Fabricio Verdum, I'm pretty sure, and whatnot. But I'm very high on Marvin Vettori here. Let's go to Vettori Miranda pretty quick. Looks like he's a tentative striker, doesn't throw a lot of volume. He's got some good Muay Thai, some nice leg kicks. He's typically a slow starter though. Not the best takedown defense. He got picked apart for 3 rounds against Chris Camozzi, and I'm not super high on Chris Camozzi. Not saying he's the worst middleweight, but not super high on him. And he really got grinded out for 3 rounds. He got beat up for 3 rounds against Chris Camozzi. Like I said, he's 38 years old, which definitely has to play a factor. And once he gets taken down, he doesn't have a very active get-up game like I said about Marvin Vettori, how he's quick to get back to his feet. Vettori Miranda looks to stay in guard or half guard a little bit too long, and against guys that are constantly trying to improve their position like Marvin Vettori, that's probably going to be a problem. So if Marvin Vettori does take him down, I don't see Vettori Miranda getting up. I see some serious ground and pound going on, and him finishing the fight from the ground, probably second round TKO. So yeah, I'm super high on Marvin Vettori. Got a total of 6.75 units on him, and I got him paired with next up in the card, Herrig New Breed Koch. Never know how to say his name, I hope I'm saying it right, Koch. But yeah, I have him paired for this is the 4-unit parlay. I have Herrig Koch paired with Marvin Vettori for 4 units. I have Herrig Koch paired with Marina, Moroz, and Carla Esparza, the over rounds, for 2 units, and something later else in the card in that parlay. But Herrig Koch I'm also very high on. I have a total of, let's see, yeah, I got a total of 6 units. I have to make sure. I got a total of 6 units on Herrig Koch. Probably my second most confident pick, as you can see in this card. On this card, let's start with him. He's got very good jiu-jitsu. He's slick on the floor. He's got 8 submissions. Trains out of Rufus Sport. Very light on his feet. He's got some gorgeous fucking Muay Thai and some beautiful kickboxing. Very nice fluid movement in his striking. When he moves in and out of range, it's gorgeous. Something to really watch. I love how he throws quick jab, then uppercut, boom, gets into range, steps out of range, will throw a leg kick or throw a body head kick, anything. Gets back into range, does damage, gets out of range, steps away from damage. He's real good with his movement. I love his combos and how he chops the lead leg. That's one of his best weapons. And against a guy in Clay Guida who trains out of Alpha Male, those guys don't really check leg kicks that much. So look for that to probably be a factor in this fight. I do see, yeah. So look for that to be a factor in this fight. He's got some power and super quick hands, great timing on his strikes. Like I was saying, he really puts his combos together real nice. He's got some gorgeous boxing inside the pocket, and he does fight very well at range. So when he's using his kicks or if he's using his reach advantage, which he does have a 1-inch reach advantage here, but a 3-inch height advantage. And if you just go on his Instagram, buddy looks fucking jacked right now. Looks like he's in probably the best shape of his life. He looks like a friggin' monster. So I'm very confident in with him with the 6 units. He does nice work inside the clinch. Super strong inside the clinch. He's got good takedown defense too, and he does good work against the cage. When his back's against the cage, or when he has his opponent's back against the cage, he does real well there. Other than that Darren Cruikshank loss, he's only lost to in the UFC to 2 top fighters, and 2 top 10 fighters in the division. Ricardo Lamas, who I'm very high on, and then Dustin Poirier, who's a true 155er, and I'm pretty sure they went the distance in that. So, and Herrig Koch, once he has good wrestling, good takedowns. If this hits the floor, I think he might even be the better wrestler of the two. He's got some great transitions. He's super heavy on top, and I love how he applies a lot of the cross-face pressure, uses his shoulder to push his opponent's face in the opposite direction, and that opens up for submissions and opens up to pass guards and jump to side control and whatnot. But he does that really well. He's excellent at taking the back, and he has some real heavy ground and pound. But let's go to Clay Guida real quick. Man, Clay Guida's a veteran in this sport. I remember watching that Diego Sanchez versus Clay Guida fight. That was a friggin' war, man. what a war that was. But training out of Team Alpha Male, he's got some good boxing, good wrestler, lots of head movement. He swings heavy bombs, but he puts a lot of energy into those shots. He throws a lot of wild shots, guys. And he's always moving forward, so he's susceptible to a lot of counters as well. Especially against a guy like Herrig Koch, might not be the best thing. He's coming off that flying knee knockout. He got knocked out from Brian Ortega. Beautiful flying knee Ortega landed. Other than that, Guida is or maybe was tough and durable. He still is pretty tough and durable, but his chin has been compromised. It's been finished in recent years quite a bit. He likes to make the fight as ugly as possible, trying to make it a brawl. And when he does go for takedowns, he's susceptible to the guillotine and a lot of chokes. He does have good takedowns, but his head position on the takedowns isn't the greatest. And he might want to watch out for that against a submission artist in Herrig Koch here. So I do have a total of 6 units on Herrig Koch, 4 units with him and Vettori, which is probably the most confident bet on the whole card. Probably should have max betted that. Might actually... I think the lines got way worse, so I might not even throw another unit on that. Think about it quick if I should, but probably not. But then I have another 2 units on Herrig Koch and Marina, Moroz, and another prop later in the card. But very, very confident in Herrig Koch in this fight as well, guys. So next up, let's go to BJ Penn versus Dennis Siver. I'm going to skim over this one super quick, guys. BJ Penn, I feel like he should have never came out of retirement. That fight against the Ayer wasn't good for him. This was probably the fight, if he came out of retirement, he should have had it in the first place. I'm not looking super forward to this one. If I am, it's really just I want to see what BJ has left in him. If he still has the drive. This is probably the perfect opponent for him at this weight class. Dennis Siver's old as well. He's a good kickboxer. BJ Penn typically before he used to do real well against like these type of wrestler, kickboxer kind of guys. I really don't have much analysis on this one, guys. I think BJ Penn takes this over 3 rounds, probably 29-28. Not confident at all. My least confident pick of the whole card. But, yeah, I'm not going to spend too much time on this one. 29-28 BJ Penn, guys. So let's go to Tim Means versus Alex Garcia. Tim Means, I do have him in that 0.5 unit parlay with Stansbury and the over of Esparza. Well, so pretty hard on Tim Dirty Bird Means here. Let's quickly jump to him. He's got some beautiful elbows, technical striker. He's strong in the clinch. He's got good cage work. He's a good wrestler. Good Muay Thai, good boxing, lots of forward pressure. Coming off that loss to Alex Oliveira, where I actually thought he was gonna win, and he got manhandled in the clinch, which he actually did the fight before, which was a no contest because of an illegal knee he threw against Alex Oliveira. He was manhandling him in the clinch. Probably gonna be hard to manhandle a guy like Alex Garcia, who has real good takedowns, really good wrestler. That's probably what he's gonna be looking for most of the time. But Tim Means has some good takedown defense. He's the better striker out of the two, so I do see him picking apart Alex Garcia. Alex Garcia is pretty flat-footed. He's strong on the ground. He's a good wrestler, but he's flat-footed when he's striking. Not the most technical striker, but boy, he's got lots of power. He knocked out Mike Powell with that nasty overhand. But when he fought Sean Strickland, he got picked apart by that jab. And I see that happening here with Tim Means picking him apart with either that jab or against the cage and beating him up with short elbows. Just something that one move that Tim Means is going to use over and over that's really going to keep hitting Alex Garcia. So I'm pretty confident in 10 means I have him in that 0.5 unit parlay with Stansbury and Moroz and 2 more stuff later in the card. But yeah, pretty high on him. And let's jump to our next fight, where we got Joaquin Christensen versus the UFC debut of Dominic the Devastator Reyes. Pretty high on Dominic Reyes from tape study, guys. Kid's really quick for this division, which I do like. He's pretty what is 6'4" or something. He's got some good Muay Thai, a lot of forward pressure, throws some good combos. He's really fast for light heavyweight. If you go back, you watch this knockout of you guys probably remembered, not the name, but you remember this knockout for sure. Jordan Powell, he kind of taunted him, like as a Koch, he dropped his hands and like flashed up, and Dominic Reyes gave him a fucking nasty left head kick, knocked him the fuck out. Really nice. He throws a really nice teep kick. He's a former college football player, so you know he has very good footwork. He's a good wrestler, good all-around athlete. He's long, he's rangy, good takedown defense, very nice sub skills, good jiu-jitsu, knockout power in pretty much anything he throws, and he's a good striker all around. 6-0. I think this is a good spot for him against Joaquin Christensen, who's kind of flat-footed, not the best takedown defense, not great sub defense, not very active from bottom, questionable gas tank, somewhat chinny, good on the ground when it looks like he's on top. He's alright on the ground, but he got, I'm pretty sure he got knocked out by Boyan, and then he got tapped out by Antagulov and Frankenstein. Let me double check that Boyan. Pretty sure he got knocked out by Boyan though. So here, if that's, or he knocked out Boyan, did he? I'm not sure. Let's see. Yeah, I'm pretty sure he knocked out. Yeah, he knocked out Boyan, or TKO'd Boyan. But he does have, he got that armbar loss to Enrique de Silva, and then that rear naked choke on Tagulov. I think he gets knocked the fuck out here by Dominic Reyes. I have Dominic Reyes in a 2-unit parlay with Eric Koch and I think, yeah, one prop later in the card. And then I have Dominic Reyes by inside the distance in that 0.5 unit parlay with Tim Means, Carla Esparza over, and Joshua Stansbury, and one more thing later in the card. But overall, I have 2.5 units on Dominic Reyes, a UFC debut, and I'm still very high on him. I like him a lot in this matchup. I think he's just better all around than Christensen. I think he gets the job and knocks him out in the first round. Let's jump to Felice Herrig versus Justine Kish. Been jumping back and forth on this one. Not sure who I'm still picking. Probably going to give you my answer at the end of the analysis here. I have no idea who I like here in this one. But let's start it off. We'll start with Felice Herrig. So Felice Herrig, she trains out of Curran, or Team Curran, who she actually rear naked choked. She rear naked choked Kaylin Curran not too long ago. She's great in scrambles and great on the floor. How she got to the back of Kaylin Curran was real nice. She outstruck Alexa Grasso, who I was pretty high on when she was in Invicta. I still think she has capabilities in the UFC. Potential probably not totally there yet, but Alexa Grasso is still, I'm still pretty high on her, and I thought if it was going to be a striking matchup, which I didn't think was going to happen, I thought it was primarily going to take a toll on the floor here, and she still outstruck Grasso. She actually had a 30-27 and then I think 2 29-28. But she's a good wrestler. She's great on the floor. Pretty complete mixed martial artist, and she has a lot of potential, little bulldog. But then we got Justine Kish, who's a technical, mean striker, nice Muay Thai, scary fucking elbows. Like, really nice elbows. Great Muay Thai. She's tough. She's durable. She throws a lot of volume. But she seems to get taken down pretty easily. She pieced up Ansarov and she pieced up Ashley Yoder. What I'm eyeing here, guys, and I have, I think, a total of, let's check real quick, 2, 3.5, 4. Yeah, so I have a total of 4.25 units on the over rounds in this one. Neither girl, I think Felice Herrig has maybe one knockout on her record, but I don't think either girl is going to get the finish here. Justine Kish is very good on the floor as well, so it's going to be hard to submit her. From what I'm thinking, and I think this primarily takes a toll on the stand-up, and neither girl has the power, I think, to finish either one. I think this takes 3 rounds, 29-28, not sure to who. Probably going to lean with Felice Herrig, pretty high on her, but Justine Kish looks fucking dangerous as well, so not confident in this pick as well. Wouldn't blame you to take either one, but I'm super confident in that over rounds for 4.25 units. I have it, that's the last of that 0.5, or no it's not, sorry guys. But that is another piece of the Eric Koch parlay, so it's 2 units for Eric Koch, Marina, Moroz, and Carla Esparza over rounds, and then this fight over rounds, 2 units there. And then we got this fight on the Horcher, the Horcher parlay with Carla Esparza over rounds and Joe Horcher to win, and then this over rounds as well for 0.75 units in total. And then we have this with Dell Horcher to win, Dominic Reyes to win, and this the over rounds 1.5 units. So a total of 4.25 units on the over rounds, guys. Pretty high on that. Pretty sure that's gonna hit. Pretty confident on that one overall. But let's jump to our co-main event of the night. We got Johnny Big Rig Hendricks versus Tim the Barbarian Boetsch. I got Johnny Hendricks total of 3.25 units. I have him in 2 different parlays. He is the last piece of that 0.5 unit parlay. I have him actually winning by decision in this fight, with means to win over rounds for Carla Esparza, Stansbury, and then Reyes to win inside the distance, and then Hendricks to win by decision for 0.5 units. Probably, I think it's to win like I don't even know, but it's to win like five units or more than 5 units. Nevertheless, let's break down this one, and I do have him with Marvin Vettori for 2.75 units, which another bet I'm very high on. But yeah, let's break down this one real quick. We got Johnny. Let's start with Johnny Hendricks. Excellent wrestler. I'm pretty sure comes from University of Oklahoma. He's looked good at 185. I didn't want to look at too much, even though we have to. We have to look at tape study for his fights at 170. But he looks like a new fighter at 185, even though it's been one fight. He looked really good against Hector Lombard. He's got some heavy hands. He was throwing great combos with eating Lombard up with these knees. Excellent takedowns. Nice leg kicks, very heavy overhand left, great takedown defense, very heavy left hand in general. He's got these great knees to the body, and he seems to be rejuvenated at 185 pounds. He's quick for the division, even though he's a little undersized, still has lots of power and he's quick. He's got some great wrestling, great boxing, great lead knee that landed again and again and again to the midsection of Lombard, like I was saying. And he trains out a team takedown, I'm pretty sure, with like killers and Chaz Skelly and Abdul Al Hassan. And Hendricks has got a great chin on him. I think he's only been TKO'd or knocked out once time, like finished once, and that was against Wonderboy Thompson. So pretty high on him in general in this fight. Let's jump to Tim Boetsch. Tim Boetsch has got some heavy hands, good wrestler. Doesn't have great takedown defense. Most recent fight was against Jacare. Jacare took him down at will. Looked to even piece him up a little bit standing up, but took him down at will, and as soon as he took him down, got that Kimura, nearly broke his fucking arm off. But Boetsch has got lots of head movement. His hands are held pretty fucking low, though, which is something that's not very good, especially against a knockout artist like Johnny Hendricks here. He's got a good front kick. It comes with forward with a lot of pressure. But I believe he's still training out of his own gym, like Team Barbarian, where he's working with like his wife's father as his like head wrestling coach or something. And he's got a bit of a compromised chin too. He's been knocked out a bit in his career. Pretty high on Johnny Hendricks, as I said, guys. I have a total of I think 3.25 units on him, so I am pretty high on him in this fight, guys. Let's go now to our main event. Michael Chiesa versus Kevin Lee. And I have a total of 3 units on Kevin Lee. So, quick on Kevin Lee. He's super light on his feet. He's got a good chin. Good takedown. Solid striking. Good kickboxing. Excellent submissions. Really nice feints, and I like how he fakes level changes a lot to threaten with the takedowns. And he's got some excellent timing on his takedowns. He's a really good wrestler. He's got some great top control. He's great in the clinch. He's a really good athlete, and he's got great knees to the body when he's in the clinch. And he throws that rear or lead knee to the body like fucking gorgeous. When he's in the clinch, look for those knees in the body. He's going to be the stronger fighter. Whatever you guys think, he's going to be the stronger fighter of the two. He's going to be the rangier fighter of the two. He has the longest range in the division. He's got some really good boxing. I like how he mixes up his combos with his strikes very well. He's got some good feints, like I said, lots of head movement, and he throws this beautiful stiff jab. It's really, really long and quick stiff jab that he throws, and he connects on it nearly every time. Great rangy fighter, has the longest reach in the division, like I said. He's got good scrambles and a super heavy top game. When this guy's on top of you, good luck. I don't give a fuck if you're Michael Chiesa. Good luck getting him off you. He's one of the best 155ers when he's on top. You can actually probably gonna have to take that one back. I give him top 10. For when he's on top. You got Khabib, Tony Ferguson, and all these killers when they're on top as well. But nevertheless, he's got excellent back control, really good at being opportunistic and slick when going for the back, beautiful at stretching your body for the rear naked choke like he did against Trinaldo. It totally compromises your body. Once you get somebody in that body triangle, and then you throw them in that rear naked choke and you stretch their body out, it gives you the submission within seconds. It's so uncomfortable. So he's got some excellent rear naked chokes. He takes it back a lot in this fight. Nice transitions, powerful slams and takedowns, great conditioning, nasty ground and pound, and he's got a nasty body triangle that once he locks that shit up, he's taking the air out of your body. He's got a really nice butterfly guard that he uses to get up, and he's got a real good get-up game. We'll go now to Michael Chiesa. Michael Chiesa is pretty good on his fucking back. Very active guard, nasty submission skills. Probably the same. I would give him, he's up there too at taking the back. Hard one to call it who's better at taking the back, but Chiesa's very dangerous on the back as well. He's only been fighting once a year the last few fights, though, which is probably a problem. I think he hasn't fought in like 400 and something days. Not a very technical striker. He's a rangy fighter, strong in the clinch. He likes to work against the cage. and when he does take you down, it's usually like that body lock against the cage, or like usually looks to that low body lock. And then once he takes you down, he's got some excellent top game as well. Good ground and pound. He's tough. He's durable, well conditioned, but he's not the greatest striker. And he has a huge weight cut. I believe he's like 196 pounds. He's coming down to 155. Pretty big weight cut for Chiesa. So I am pretty high overall, guys, on Kevin Lee. I think he gets the finish here. I'm not sure if he taps out Chiesa. If he does tap him out, I think he rocks him and puts him on his ass while they're standing up, knocks him, gives him a nasty straight right or overhand right, puts him on the floor, and then takes his back and chokes him out. But I do have 3 units on Kevin Lee. Pretty confident on this one, guys, overall. So, yeah, let's jump on to Bellator now, guys. Just going to quickly run through my Bellator bets and the fights running through. Just a quick thing on, there wasn't a line on that Aaron Pico, and that was the thing I was probably most pissed about. I'm super high on Aaron Pico. I think he's going to be a devastating force at the division. He's a friggin' monster, like Olympic wrestler, one of the best wrestlers, not only in Bellator, but in MMA in general. I think you guys are going to see how good of a grappler he is, and he's been training with Eddie Bravo on the floor as well. This guy's putting his striking together really well, too. Was looking forward to betting that fight, but the line didn't come out on a lot. I think it's only out on a couple UK sites like Betway and maybe Unibet, I'm not sure. But other than that, didn't. And he's like a minus 400 at those places. But didn't get a line on him on Pinnacle, so couldn't bet this. But I was super excited for that fight. We got also Chinzo Machida versus James Gallagher. Another fight I passed on, but I am interested in seeing this fight. James Gallagher trains with Conor McGregor out of SPG Ireland. So look to see John Kavanagh in his corner. Chinzo Machida, the brother of the famous Lyoto Machida, very dangerous on his feet as well. He's a 5th degree in Kyokushin Karate. 5th degree black belt. This fight I'm very interested in. A lot of people are taking Gallagher, and I see why. The hype's real behind this kid, but don't sleep on Chinzo Machida. He's a plus 200 or plus 205 right now. I was thinking about even taking that 1 unit shot on Machida, but I think there's too much upside on Gallagher. So that's another stay away from me. But and then we got, there's Heather Hardy making her debut, her MMA debut. She's a former world champion in boxing. We got Ryan Couture fighting, and Matt Rizzo as well. Looking very forward to probably my first play on this card is Naaman Gracie. I got Naaman Gracie. Not the best odds. I think I got him at like minus 750, maybe even more than that. But you guys will see why this kid's the real deal. When you have Gracie as your last name, I'm telling you, it is fucking something to behold. These guys aren't just looking to like easy coast. You know what I'm saying? They're always looking for some nasty submissions. They're always great fighters, always very well prepared fighters. And I think this is a great fight for Naaman. Good matchup. Don't know too much on Marfone, but overall, I think Naaman definitely gets the win here. So I do have him in a 2-unit parlay with a couple fights later in this card. But yeah, pretty confident in that. On the Bellator prelims the main fight on that. So the last card of the fight, before we get to the main event, it's actually Ryan Bader versus Phil Davis for the light heavyweight championship. Was siding with Bader for a little bit here, man. Was gonna actually take the 2-unit shot on Bader, but I saw, and I think it's gonna be another WrestleFest. I'm taking the over rounds, so I have Gracie and the over-rounds here for 2 units, and one more fighter later in this card for 2 units at plus 106. But yeah, I do think it goes the distance, guys, for this light heavyweight championship. I think it's more of a grapple fest. I'm not gonna say it's a snooze fest, but I think it goes the distance here. So I did take the shot on Ryan Bader, I did take the shot on the over rounds, but was eyeing that Ryan Bader shot a little bit. But I do think it's going the distance, guys. Next up, we got Michael Chandler, who's my most confident pick of this whole fight. He's like a minus 600, minus 650 or something like that as well. He's part of that 2-unit parlay with the over rounds with Bader and Phil Davis and Naaman Gracie to win plus 106 at plus 106. And I do have him in another 2-unit parlay with somebody later in the card. Very high on Michael Chandler here. I know Brent Primus is undefeated, has some fucking knockout power, some finishes, but you're going up against a different kind of animal when you're fighting Michael Chandler. I think Michael Chandler gets this job done. You guys saw how he annihilated Benson Henderson late in that fight. I think he does the same thing to Primus here, if not worse. So yeah, pretty high on Chandler here. Next up, we got Lorenz Larkin versus Douglas Lima. I got Larkin in that 2-unit parlay with Chandler. Super high on Larkin before he got, like when he was already in the UFC, coming off that win of Neil Magny. If you see him, he throws this fucking stupid oblique kick. It's so nasty. This oblique kick he throws to your body, it sent Neil Magny fucking flying. Against Lima here, no easy out for sure. Lima put on a fucking beating on Koreshkov, and Koreshkov is a tough outing for anybody because you saw what Koreshkov did to Benson Henderson. But I do think Lorenz is the better polished striker here, and I think he's got real good wrestling to keep this standing, and I think he picks apart Lima and he gets the job done here. So I'm going with Lorenz Larkin. I got 2 units here on Lorenz Larkin. I think at plus 130 or plus 129, or not, sorry, plus minus 130 or minus 129 as a 2-unit parlay of Larkin and Michael Chandler. So pretty confident in that one overall, guys, again. And then my last play of the day, I got Matt Mitrione 2 units against Fedor Emelianenko. Quick, Mitrione is the better boxer, better on his feet, fast for heavyweight division. He's looked good in Bellator. Fedor has looked horrible his past couple fights. Definitely lost against Fabio Maldonado. That fight should have been finished when Fabio was putting the beating on him, but it was in Russia. Ended up winning the fight, and it got turned over, I think, to a no contest. But yeah, Fedor, one of the greatest heavyweights of all time. I'm not mad at anyone taking the shot on Fedor for sure. But I think that Mitrione pieces him up. If Mitrione comes in here with the right mindset and doesn't get overwhelmed that he's fighting Fedor, then I think he crunches him. If he gets overwhelmed, it's going to be a little bit of a tougher fight for Matt. But I think Mitrione comes in here with the right mindset and look for him to actually get the finish on Fedor, 3rd round knockout, which leads us to the main event of this pay-per-view, Chael Sonnen versus Wanderlei Silva. This fight should have happened fucking 8 years ago, or in 2011, 6 years ago. Ever so slightly, Chael Sonnen just because Silva's inactivity and whatnot. Not too much to break down here, guys. Gonna be interesting to watch this fight. Not betting it, easy pass for me. But I am leaning with Chael Sonnen overall. So let's look at my bets. Let's review the bets overall that I have for everything. We'll start with Bellator NYC, Bellator 180, whatever you want to call it. I got Mitrione 2 units at, I think I have him at minus 113. And then I got Larkin and Chandler to win at minus 130 or minus 129, something like that, for 2 units. And then I got Naaman Gracie, Michael Chandler, and the over rounds for Phil Davis and Ryan Bader at plus 106 for 2 units. So pretty confident in all 3 of those picks. And then we got our UFC Fight Night 112 OKC picks. We'll start off with Kevin Lee here. We got Kevin Lee, 3 units on Kevin Lee. Straight up, I just think he gets this one done. We got Johnny Hendricks in 2.75 unit parlay with him and Marvin Vettori. And then we also have him winning by decision in a 0.5 unit parlay with Dominic Reyes winning inside the distance. Stansbury winning the over 2.5 rounds for Carla, Esparza, and Tim Means. And then we got, like I said, Dominic Reyes. We got 2.75 unit, no, 2.5 units on Dominic Reyes. Or sorry, 2 units on Dominic Reyes in total here, guys. I got Dominic Reyes with Horcher and the over 2.5 rounds at plus 140. With I put 1.5 units on that. And then I have him in that 0.5 unit parlay that I just mentioned. Tim Means also in that 0.5 unit parlay. BJ Penn, we're ever so slightly leaning with him. I wouldn't be mad if you take BJ Penn. The shot on BJ Penn right now at almost plus 200. Or if you want to fade BJ Penn and take Dennis Siver, not mad either way. Wouldn't blame you. We got Eric Koch, probably my second most confident pick on the whole card. We got a total of 6 units on him. We got him and Marvin Vettori for 4 units. And I think minus 118 or minus 120, something like that. Sorry guys, I use a decimal system. I'm not on the money line, so it's decimal 1.82 for 4 units. And then we got him also at plus 162, 2 units with Eric Koch to win, and then the over rounds on Carla, Esparza, and Marina, Moroz, and then the over rounds on Felice Herrig and Justine Kish. So pretty confident in Eric Koch in this one, guys. Also, we got Marvin Vettori here. Marvin Vettori, a total of 6.75 units. I got him with, like I said, with Eric Koch for 4 units, and then I got him with Hendricks for 2.75 units. So very high on Marvin Vettori here, guys. My most confident pick of the whole card. Carla Esparza, another pick I'm very confident on. I got her in the Dell Horcher and Felice Herrig versus Justine Kish over rounds at plus 138 for 0.75 units. And then I have her again in that 0.5 unit parlay, that 5-legger. And then I have her in also, so we have her in 3.25 units in total, because I have her also in that parlay of the over rounds for Justine Kish, Felice Herrig, the over rounds in this fight, and then and then Eric Koch to win at plus 162. And then we got Daryl Horcher, like I said, the plus 138 for 0.75 units with him, and the over rounds of the 2 girl fights. Horcher at plus 140 with Reyes to win, and the over 2.5 rounds of Felice Herrig and Justine Kish. And yeah, that's all we have Horcher for, so I'm pretty confident in Horcher as well. Ever so slightly leaning with Jared Gordon here, ever so slightly leaning with Tony Martin here, and then we have the 0.5 unit parlay with Joshua Stansbury here to get the job done over Jeremy Kimball. So let's fucking cash these bets, guys. We've been on a good streak so far. It's not let's keep it going, if you know what I mean. Yeah, so we got back-to-back pay-per-views. We got Saturday Bellator 180 / Bellator NYC in Madison Square Garden. Then we got on Sunday we got UFC Fight Night 112. And yeah, if you want to give me a follow on Twitter, it's at the Sebs Show. Feel free to talk fights with me on Twitter. Leave a comment. Leave Let's talk fights in the comment sections if you want. Who you think's gonna win these fights? Subscribe, please. Give me a like, a nice comment. Like I was saying, a nice subscription would be beautiful. And to check out all my bets, I always have them posted on Capitec, and they're always posted on Bet MMA Tips. So you can check both those out at / the Sebs Show. It's on my Twitter feed. If you go to my Twitter, it will be in my Twitter bio to recheck all my bets of this card and the Bellator card, to run through them really quick. Quick shout outs to all my boys. Dan Levy at Half the Battle and Best Fight Picks. You gotta give him a follow for sure. My boys at UFC Bro Picks, my fucking boy Justin, my boy Ricky, they're killing the game right now. I'm going head to head with Justin. Justin has 8 units in total on Michael Chiesa. I told him Kevin Lee's getting the job done, so we'll see Justin. And then I got my boy Rockstar motherfucking Z. You guys already know Rockstar Z's out here. My fellow Canadian boy might be doing a fight companion with Rockstar Z for UFC 213. If it's not UFC 213, we're doing a live one for 214. You hear me, Z? We're going to do a live one, brother. So we're going to be doing a podcast pretty damn soon, me and Rockstar. So big shout out to Rockstar Z. MMA Kelton, go give him a follow. Will Martin, who just had his baby girl, congratulations. And James Lynch, who has great interviews. Also the MMA God, Corey, who does some terrific videos overall. Yeah, so shout out to all those guys, man. Give them a follow on Twitter and on YouTube. And till next time, man. Probably not gonna have a video next week. Obviously, we're gonna have one in 2 weeks for that Tough Redemption finale. Gaethje versus Michael Johnson, and then Nunes versus Shevchenko, UFC 213. So looking forward to International Fight Week. Nice 2 weeks of tape study. Hard tape study. Gonna come with a lot of bets. I'm thinking almost 15 plays I might have on both those cards overall. But yeah, we have hit over an hour, so it's time for me to peace out here. Let's cash these bets, guys. Good luck to everybody, and God bless. Let's get this. Peace out. The Sebs Show, baby. Till next time, it's your boy Sebs.